Since 2003, Lyonesse has been the registered trademark name for a group of globally distributed corporate structures, which originated in Austria. Lyonesse comprises at least 7 corporations registered in Switzerland, 9 corporations registered in Austria and approximately 42 additional national and regional corporations all around the globe. The name Lyonesse unregistered trademark was derived from the Celtic mythological kingdom Lyonesse unregistered trademark. Lyconet has been introduced as a new trademark name for the same group of corporations. The main corporation, then called Lyoness Holding Europe AG unregistered trademark, was registered in 2003 by Iwan J. Ackermann, Meienberg and Uwe Proch. In 2004, the publicly known CEO of Lyoness, Hubert Freidl, was hired by this corporation as a director. Lyoness, in its entirety, has an estimated annual turnover of €1.2 billion. The shopping community has a self-proclaimed member total of 4 million. Lyoness is currently active in 45 countries spread over 6 continents. Lyoness is suspected to be a pyramid scheme in several of the countries it operates in. In homeland Austria, Lyoness has been declared a pyramid scheme by 4 independent civil courts. Criminal investigations, however, are still ongoing. In Norway, Lyoness was found to have operated an illegal pyramid scheme in 2012 and 2013. In Australia, Lyoness is under prosecution by the ACCC. In Sweden, the responsible authority concluded that Lyoness is a pyramid scheme and reported Lyoness to the Stockholm police. In Poland, a similar investigation is ongoing. Lyoness vehemently denies all allegations. Business model, shopping community. Lyoness operates an international, cross-sectoral shopping community, from which members and merchants presumably benefit through cashback discounts and customer loyalty, respectively. From July 2014, all network marketing activities will be bundled under the new brand Lyconet. The Lyoness shopping community currently has an estimated 4 million members around the globe, receiving discounts while shopping at 29,000 Lyoness partners with over 150,000 points of acceptance. Through the discount systems, Lyoness members receive direct discounts of 1 to 2% in the form of cash back on every purchase made at a Lyoness partner. Depending on the country, the sum of the obtained discounts needs to be €5 or €10 or higher in order for it to be transferred to the bank account of the Lyoness member. Friendship bonus. Next to discounts over personal purchases, Lyoness members receive an 0.5% commission over the purchases made by the people they have introduced to Lyoness, as well as 0.5% over the purchases made by the people introduced by the people they have brought in. Lyoness refers to this system as the €1 friendship bonus, €1 unregistered trademark. Accounting units, additional to the 1 to 2% cash back that Lyoness members receive, a percentage of the expenditures of members at Lyoness partner companies is transferred into the Lyoness position system €, which is a system in which leftover discounts are saved up into positions. When enough new positions are entered into the position chain, the holder of the original position is rewarded with earnings through a concept called a Euro system commission, €1 unregistered trademark, or a Euro loyalty commission, €1 unregistered trademark. These positions of accounting units can be accumulated through shopping, or through making down payments on gift cards offered by Lyoness. These down payments have been regarded as investments by several international authorities, although others consider them to be shopping. Premium membership. In most countries, in order to become a Lyoness premium member, one needs to put in a down payment of at least €2,000 on future discounts. In several other countries, high amounts of shopping in 1 year can substitute these down payments. The two methods can also be combined. However, certain media and Lyoness critics have suggested that by far most premium memberships are acquired by members through down payments of €2,000, and not formed by residual discounts saved up while shopping at Lyoness loyalty merchants. The Norwegian authorities who investigated Lyoness came to the same conclusion. Commonly, the down payments of €2,000 are used to acquire 7 positions of €50, 3 positions of €150 and 3 positions of €400. Loyalty merchants, the partner companies offering discounts to Lyoness members, need to become a Euro Premium member a Euro unregistered trademark as well, meaning they also have to put in a down payment on future discounts of at least €2,000 as well, if they want to enroll in the a Euro Loyalty Merchant Programme a Euro unregistered trademark for a flat fee of $570 per shopping location. If companies do not wish to become a Euro Premium member a Euro unregistered trademark of Lyoness, the sign-up fee is $1,999 per location. Additionally, they may be required to pay $26 per month in a Euro network charges a Euro unregistered trademark. Corporate structure, international organization, the Lyoness trademark name covers various corporate structures. The overarching holding corporation is named Lyoness International AG, which is supported by several administrative departments, including Lyoness eBiz GmbH, Lyoness Data Servers GmbH, Lyoness Lycosoft GmbH, Lyoness Child and Family Foundation, Lyoness Greenfinity Foundation. Continental and Country Organization. The continental organizations are subsidiaries of Lyoness International AG and are registered as stock corporations. These are, Lyoness Europe AG, Lyoness IMEA SA, Lyoness North America Limited, Lyoness South America SA, Lyoness Asia Limited. The country offices are subsidiaries of the continental stock corporations and are registered as privately owned, limited liability companies. Social involvement. According to Lyoness, every purchase made by its members at its partner companies benefits the Lyoness Child and Family Foundation and the Lyoness Greenfinity Foundation. Lyoness, together with its Greenfinity Foundation, is the main sponsor of the annual Austrian Open golf tournament, now named the Lyoness Open. This tournament is part of the 2013 European Tour. Lyoness also sponsors the a Euro European Juniors League UE Euro unregistered trademark, a European football competition for youth teams. Controversy. 1 year after Lyoness was founded, in 2004, the Austrian Criminal Police published an article in the December issue of its organization a Euro unregistered trademark S magazine, in which it warned for the resurfacing of Ponzi schemes and pyramid schemes in Austria. Lyoness was explicitly mentioned in this article. Lyoness contested the allegations publicly. In 2005, Austrian Parliament member, Johann Mayer asked the then-incumbent Austrian Minister of Justice parliamentary questions about the reports filed against alleged pyramid schemes in Austria in 2004. Lyoness was one of the organization's complaints were filed against. In 2008, the Austrian Chamber of Labour of Steiermark issued a warning against Lyoness, listing its alleged privacy violations, misleading advertising, deceptive information and unrealistic and negligible benefits as red flags for doing business with Lyoness. In March 2010, the Swiss medium Beobachter published an article by Pascal Hofmeier entitled A Euro Lyoness, Hands Off a Euro Unregistered Trademark. In the article, Sarah Stolder of the Swiss Consumer Union and Manuel Richard of the Swiss Gambling Commission warn consumers not to do business with Lyoness. In the beginning of 2012, Kleinzeitung published an article suggesting that Lyoness has deceived the masses by operating an irrelevant shopping community. La Euro unregistered trademark Hebdo, a Swiss medium, reproduced a story about how Lyoness members are told that an investment of 3,000 Swiss francs will eventually lead to 25,000 Swiss francs in return, if enough new, down-paying members are recruited. In February 2012, the Beobachter published an article stating that, based on consideration of internal Lyoness communication, members are offered a Euro bounties a Euro unregistered trademark up to 45,000 Swiss francs to provide a Euro relevant information a Euro unregistered trademark on Lyonesse a Euro unregistered trademark critics. A critic from Zurich was reported to have been sued for over 1 million Swiss francs for a Euro defamation a Euro unregistered trademark after he contacted Lyonesse a Euro unregistered trademark partner companies in Switzerland in an attempt to explain the business model of Lyonesse to them. The article also reported that the Lyonesse business model seems to revolve around recruiting activities instead of discounts and that Lyonesse is internationally charged with forgery, fraud and hosting a pyramid scheme. Der Standard reported in July 2012 that the Austrian Economic and Corruption Prosecutor has been granted jurisdiction to investigate and prosecute Lyonesse in Austria. The Swiss Handelszeitung mentioned a court case Lyoness lost, which revolved around the question as to whether Lyoness should have issued a financial prospectus before asking investors to finance their foreign markets advertising campaigns. In September 2012, the same newspaper reported that major, alleged Lyoness partners in Switzerland were announcing not to continue the partnerships, if there were any to begin with. The Wiener Zeitung reported about a pending lawsuit initiated by the Austrian consumer organization VKI unregistered trademark in March 2013. The VKI contests 61 clauses of Lyonesse unregistered trademark general terms and conditions unregistered trademark, which it called opaque, uncertain, and/or meaningless. Eric Breitender, hired as a legal representative by the organization, also referred to the concepts used to distinguish various parts of and benefits within the Lyonesse business model as vague and/or undefined elsewhere. The Handelszeitung reported about suspicions that high-level Lyonesse members were earlier involved in pyramid schemes, like the Spirit of Independence unregistered trademark. It also mentioned a system called a GTS unregistered trademark, operated by Erin Trade SA, as a former organization tied to Hubert Freidl. Like Lyonesse, this company has been called a pyramid scheme in the public debate. The Zeitung reported that various experts were looking at the investment schemes for advertising campaigns organized by Lyonesse, and whether a prospectus was required before attracting capital from investors. Lyonesse hired Professor Suzanne Calls concluded that no capital market regulations were violated by not issuing a prospectus. Attorney Karl Hengstberger came to the opposite conclusion but agreed with Professor Suzanne Calls that the Lyonesse business package does not constitute an investment. In the same article, Matthias Vorbach, spokesman of Lyonesse, admits that Lyonesse may have had some trouble before, but that those days are behind us. Lyonesse has learned from its mistakes. He asserts the message that legal problems have only appeared in Austria and that 95% of the Lyonesse members just shop and do not participate in the earning models offered by Lyonesse. However, the Beobachter, after reportedly considering internal Lyonesse documents, published an article suggesting that 99.7% of the Lyonesse turnover derives from down payments on future purchases, not from actual shopping or discounts. Lyonesse contests that it operates a pyramid scheme, as well as that it violated the relevant capital markets regulations when offering investments without issuing a prospectus. Legality. In the meantime, Austrian authorities have started investigations of the Lyonesse business model and the related allegations that the company is running an illegal pyramid scheme. Reportedly, similar investigations were started in Hungary, Norway, and Poland. Also, it was reported that the Austrian Consumers Union has filed suit against Lyonesse for providing participants with unclear and deceptive terms and conditions. VKI is representing clients who contend they invested money in the advertising campaigns organized by Lyonesse, and several option trading packages offered by Lyonesse, but were not provided with a prospectus. In September 2009, Lyonesse hired criminal law expert Professor Peter Lewisch to assess whether the company's business model violated the Austrian law concerning illegal pyramid schemes. The study, conducted by Lewisch in September 2013, argued that Lyonesse is not a pyramid scheme under Austrian legislation. The judges of the regional court in Krems, Austria however concluded that the business model of Lyonesse is so Ponzi scheme-like, that contracts between Lyonesse and its business partners are not valid. Lyonesse has not responded to this statement. In December 2013, Norwegian authorities announced a full investigation of Lyonesse on the suspicion of it operating an illegal pyramid scheme. Lyonesse received 3 weeks to respond to the announcement. Following an investigation of several months, the Norwegian Gaming Board concluded that Lyonesse operated an illegal pyramid scheme in Norway in 2012 and 2013. After the investigation had been announced, in 2014, less than the legal barrier of 50% of Lyonesse's revenue in Norway derived from recruiting, making them eligible to continue operation under Norwegian law. Nevertheless, Lyonesse breached a Norwegian law in 2012 and 2013. In Sweden the authorities have also decided to pursue Lyonesse. The national lottery authorities, responsible for investigating pyramid games, have reported Lyonesse to the Stockholm police for pyramid game and chain letter fraud. The Australian Competition and Consumer Commission, after researching Lyonesse for a while, has instituted proceedings against Lyoness International AG, Lyoness Asia Limited, Lyoness UK Limited and Lyoness Australia Proprietary Limited for operating a pyramid selling scheme and engaging in referral selling. The ACCC alleges that Lyonesse has operated the scheme in Australia from mid-2011 and that it continues to operate the scheme. The scheme offers €1 cashback, €1 unregistered trademark rebates to members who shop through a Lyonesse portal, use Lyonesse vouchers or present their Lyonesse card at certain retailers. Whilst cashback offers themselves are not prohibited by the Australian consumer law, the ACCC alleges that the Lyonesse scheme also offers commissions to members who recruit new members who make a down payment on future shopping. The ACCC is seeking declarations, pecuniary penalties, injunctions, an order requiring the Lyonesse website to link to the case report and costs. As Lyoness International AG, Lyoness Asia Limited and Lyoness UK Limited are located overseas, the ACCC will be making arrangements for service on those entities. The case is before Justice Flick of the Federal Court in Sydney. Lyonesse have submitted their defence in October 2014, and the next hearing will be in February 2015. Australian victims claim to have lost thousands of dollars each to Lyonesse. Several spin-off schemes such as Flexcom and Aspire, led by former Lyonesse promoter Andy Hansen, have received critical attention from the media and are said to be under investigation by the authorities. Television. On November 30, 2011, Dragon's €1 unregistered trademark in Canada aired an episode featuring the pitch of a Lyonesse €1 premium member €1 unregistered trademark from Ontario, Canada, in which he asked the Dragon's €1 unregistered trademark to jointly invest $175,000 to acquire Lyonesse €1 business packages €1 unregistered trademark through him. None of the Dragons were willing to invest. Instead, they ridiculed him and his business idea, suggesting that it's distasteful, and a pyramid scheme €1 unregistered trademark. They also advised the Lyonesse member, who borrowed against his house to acquire Lyonesse positions, not to invest any more money in the Lyonesse system. Another television show that has reported on Lyonesse is the Austrian public television program ORF Report. This program aired episodes under the names Lyonesse, The Money Machine €1 unregistered trademark, Shopping Community Lyonesse and The Man Behind Lyonesse €1 unregistered trademark, interviewing experts and former participants, which both say that Lyonesse operates a pyramid scheme behind the Section 8 of AA Shopping Community €1 unregistered trademark. The latter episode also features hidden camera footage of Hubert Freidl telling his followers that spreading €1 cashback cards €1 unregistered trademark is irrelevant €1 it is all about the positions €1 unregistered trademark. Income. From a Lyonesse income disclosure statement can be derived that the average Lyonesse member in the United States receives a gross annual commission of approximately $275, or $23 per month. The monthly median commission value of 38 cents indicates that the vast majority of the members receives a lower commission than the $23 monthly average. Additionally, the document states that 46% of the Lyonesse members make $0 in commission and that the average annual expenditures, not taken into account when calculating the average commission, are $1,294. Internet. On the Internet, various websites and blogs from all over the world have focused critical attention on Lyonesse, accusing the company of illegal business practices and questioning the alleged partnerships between Lyonesse and several multinational corporations, as well as the validity and relevance of the certificates granted to the Lyonesse shopping community. In April 2013, it was reported that former participants of Lyonesse had organized themselves and founded an organization and website called Platform Lyonesse. Not much later, an international equivalent was established under the name Lyonesse Complaint Center. In the beginning of June 2013, it was reported that Lyonesse filed legal complaints against the founders of Platform Lyonesse. The founders were forced to remove legal documents concerning Lyonesse from their website. Platform Lyoness has reported that a preliminary injunction in a subsequent court case forced Platform Lyoness to change its domain name from www.platformlyonesse to, as the court found that domain names linking to negative content about Lyoness should carry a distinctive term to indicate that the domain is not hosted by Lyoness itself. Platform Lyoness solved this by adding the term geschädigt, which is the German word for victims. Lyoness' other demands were not granted by the court. References. External links: Official Lyoness corporate website.